Hello, we're finishing up Chapter 9, Section 1, Identifying Quadratic Functions. I'm on page 594. We're going to do problems 18 through 21. We're going to give you graphs. You can see them right here. There's the other two. And we're going to, from the graph, we're going to figure out what the domain and the range is. So, how do I find out what the domain is? That's easy. The domain means all real numbers. The domain is going to be, I'm going to say a little bit more than I did earlier. The domain is going to be everything you can pick for x. That's going left to right. Notice that these graphs kind of look like they're going up, but they never, ever, ever go perfectly vertical. They always continue to get wider, which means that every x value is covered. There's no section of the graph that does not have an x value. Sorry, let me say it this way. There's no section of the graph where it does not have an x value. All the x values work. Since this number line, that's what the x-axis is, a number line, since that number line represents all the numbers that you know, which we'll say all real numbers, and we'll with like a kind of a wink, then the domain is, you can just say all real numbers. Every time. All real numbers. And of course, I have to be honest. I'm a good person. If you just say right now, all numbers, I'll be okay with that. It's not technically correct. At least, okay. I'm not going to get into it, all right? Don't worry about that, all right? We can actually, if you just say all numbers, to be honest, that is correct. That's actually a better way of doing it. So, kind of makes me think, why do we say all real numbers anyway? But I don't want to explain why yet. That's for Algebra 2, but it'll be all right. I actually, to be honest, I might mention it in class, but that's okay. So I can even start it right here. All real numbers. And that hashtag right there, that was long before Twitter. Go to your parents' old phones. They have a thing like that on there. That was that's the symbol for number, or at least it's a symbol we use for number. Okay. Now, the range is going to be a little bit harder. In order to find the range, I have to find the vertex, which we did in the previous example. From the vertex, we need to find the y-coordinate of the vertex. I guess you don't need to find the x-coordinate, but we need to find the y-coordinate and then decide, does the graph go above that or below it? So let's look at 18. Here's my vertex, and the coordinates for the vertex are going to be -1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Now again, the x doesn't really come into play. That's part of the domain. I want to look for the y value. Does the graph, which is drawn in red, does it go above -4? It does. Or does it go below -4? It goes above -4. So all of my y values are going to be greater than or equal to, at the vertex, -4. For problem 19, we'll do them at the same time so you can compare. Here's my vertex. My vertex is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just looking at that 4. On the graph where it's drawn in red, and remember, I'm just going up and down. We already talked about going left to right with the domain. That's the x. I'm going up and down with the y. On the graph, does the graph go above 4 or does it always go below 4? So the domain, the y values are all going to be less than or equal to 4. Because all of the y values, like right here, whatever that x value is, but the y value right here, the y equals 1, which is less than 4. And here's y equals 3, y equals 2, y equals 1, y equals 0, y equals -1, y equals -2. Same thing over here. Y equals 3, y equals 2, y equals 1, y equals 0, y equals -1, y equals -2. All of these are less than 4. At the vertex, that's where it's equal to 4. And finally, our last two problems. My vertex right here. Oh, sorry, got ahead of myself. All real numbers. Guys, don't get that wrong. Now, let's talk about the vertex. My vertex right here is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Since this opens downwards, the graph goes down from the vertex. All of my y's are going to be less than or equal to 6. And that's all there is to that. For number 21, here's my vertex. My vertex happens to be 4, negative 4. And this one goes upwards, so all of my y coordinates, here's negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2. Same thing on this side. All my y coordinates are going to start at negative 4 and go higher. So my range, y, is greater than or equal to negative 4. Okay, that should do it. Ask questions in the discussion. Make sure you get that homework done. Bye.